The point I'm trying to make is this. You want a man that's masculine at all times, while you pick and choose when you want to be masculine. And I'm saying, stop talking and listen. That's a masculine trait that you have right there.
I like that though.
But that's a problem.
I like that.
That's a problem.
I like that though.
Okay,
like, tell me to shut the fuck up because I don't get
Stop
that.
talking. Stop fucking talking. All right?
Shut up, bitch.
And I'm going to tell you this as a hyper-masculine man myself. I don't like girls like y'all because you guys don't listen. And I'm telling you right to your face. I'm just going to get a girl that's always feminine versus arguing and having to put you in your place all the time. Right now, having this conversation with you is stressful. I can only imagine being in a relationship with you doing this all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Men don't want that. We already get stressed from the outside world. Why do we want to come in and fight our girls?
As we proceed further, don't forget to like and share video with your friends and family. Also make sure to subscribe Manosphere daily and press bell icon so you never miss latest content. Modern relationships? They're basically emotional hostage situations with Wi-Fi. 20 years of marriage and the poor guy still has to ask for a hug like he's begging for spare change outside a bank. At that point, you're not a husband. You're a glorified wallet with a pulse, quietly suffering while everyone else pretends it's normal.
Majority of the women today, and it started in the 70s by the way, radical feminism destroyed the world and destroyed women, and it destroyed relationship because women kind of destroyed it for themselves. You want to be equal to a man, you want men to treat you equally, everything, and you think that everything you do, you are perfect one. What we have, a lot of women have, right? Men have more value when they get older than a woman. And if women come and treat men like a wallet and everything has to be transactional, okay, men lose interest. And today we are suffering because high quality women like me or other girls or other women that I know, right? They suffer because if I look good and I go with a man to dinner, immediately they think that if I look sexy and I have big boobs, immediately I'm gonna go to bed, do a line of cocaine. You understand? The good women suffer from what the other women did because radical feminism literally destroyed the relationships today.
If you want a man to take care of you for the rest of your life, what do you bring to the table except your and a bunch of baggage? Let's start with the baggage first.
I have 3 kids. I was in a marriage for 20 years, and basically that's it.
That's
Single
it?
now.
Do you realize how monumental what you just said was, that you have 3 children and most of your life was taken by another man for 20 years? You can't give another man children? What are you bringing to the table, really?
I've never dated a man anyways that wants more children. And second of all, I'm not looking for a man to marry. And if I do find the right man, I'll marry again. However, I'm not out there searching for a man to care for me.
But if you're not, then what else are you bringing to the relationship besides, again, just your vagina, really?
I am a great cook, great cleaner, and I know how to please a man.
Yeah, and the men that you end up with have to be exceptional.
I've dated men that make less money than me, and I never had a problem with that at all.
Well, you're not with them for a reason.
Look at the women in that room, every single one rocking that smug little smirk like, oh, this doesn't apply to me, while proving it absolutely does. They hear nothing. They're just waiting for their moment to feel special and validated. Quality? Please. They don't want equal footing, they want all the perks and none of the burden. Men get judged on what they do, their hustle, their money, their usefulness. Women get to judge like it's a live-action Tinder. Looks, status, cash. But mention double standards? Suddenly you're the villain, branded a misogynist.
So women are not forced to conform to what men want because we'll get the attention anyways. And there's evidence that suggests that 50% of women are never going to have kids or get married. And then you take the women that do get married, 50% of them will divorce.
And that's by 2030, so it's not even that far away. So like if we take this room for example, how many girls are there in this room? 2, 4, 6, 7. At least let's make it nicer than it is. At least 3 of us will never get married and never have kids. And that's a
Ladies, you've got every right to say no to broke dudes, but don't act depressed when high-value men return the favor. That's not sexism, sweetheart. That's the universe balancing the books. You can't demand kings while showing up like court jesters. That's not empowerment, that's delusion wrapped in Sephora samples.
I do not want a poor man.
Why don't you want a poor man? Because you want him to, quote, provide for you, correct?
Because I've been taking care of everything my whole life.
The financial burden.
Yeah.
You want him to take off the financial burden, right?
Yes.
So if you want him to take off the financial burden, how much do you want? At least half, right?
Yes.
What do you think compensates him for eliminating 50% of the financial burden that you have that he's not responsible for.
It's not that I'm trying to give him half of my financial burden, but
Literally, you are trying to give him half of your financial burden. What are you talking about? How are you not?
I'm looking for a partner, and I'm looking for somebody that has the same goals and that wants the same thing too. They want their best friend.
How are you not trying to give this man 50% of your financial burden he's not actually responsible for currently, but in the future he will be based on your choices?
But
right?
that
I mean,
isn't that what marriage is?
Marrying a hardcore feminist is like signing up for an endless debate team where you're always the bad guy. One day it's toxic masculinity, next it's emotional labor, and before you know it, you're apologizing for how you blink. Men don't want to fight, they want peace. Not a TED Talk in yoga pants about the patriarchy every time they forget to rinse a plate.
I always talk about the demonization of, women who choose to stay at home, the demonization of housewives, the demonization of women who make a different choice than what is considered the acceptable choice of the modern feminist movement. And not every woman is going to want to be that CEO or enter the workforce. Some of them want to devote themselves to being a wife and being a mom. Why do we have to disparage them because they're making a different choice than what a lot of women make in this day and age? Why? Why can't we just fight that reflex? Because we all have it, right? I mean, Rollo Tomassi says we're all kind of raised in the feminist age, and hence we kind of have a little bit of that lens. I believe that he's right on that in many respects, because I even have to check myself sometimes, because it's almost like you're programmed to react a certain way, and it just starts coming out of your mouth, and you're like, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. You really have to kind of deprogram all of that stuff and look at stuff for what it actually is.
It's really interesting to note that, especially within the States, but just in general, the research actually has depicted that women in their 40s is the most unhappiest age group out there. Think about that. The unhappiest age group in all of the world, predominantly we're talking about the States right now, is women in their 40s. That's 1 in 4 Americans, which is crazy. That's 25% of the population are women in their 40s. And they're the unhappiest group out there. And it's just absolutely scary and it's appalling. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? And at the end of the day, the number one reason why, well, there could be many reasons why, actually. But one of them, as I mentioned beforehand, is it's really all about e-commerce. It's about the pharmaceutical industries. It's about really just making money. It's a multi-million-dollar business for the most part.
And here's the kicker. They don't get it. Happiness is an inside job. No man, no money, no dream trip to Bali is going to fix that gaping emotional black hole. Find a therapist, not a husband.
Okay, this is for all my single girlies in their late 20s, early 30s. Where are we finding men now? Because the Hinge pool has a lot of pee in it. So I'm certainly not finding anyone there. I'm not on Bumble or Tinder, and I don't plan to be. I go to the bars sometimes, but the quality of men there, typically not the best from what I've experienced, but I'm not opposed to it. I go to the grocery store with my hair on top of my head. No makeup, baggy clothes. So I don't think anybody's dying to give me their number when they see me there, okay? So, if you've got any ideas, toss them my way, because I'm 30 and beginning to think that this whole dying alone thing isn't going to be like a running joke. It's going to be reality. So yeah, let me know.
I'm actually glad she said that, because this is the fear that most of them are carrying inside. The fear of dying alone. They're so brave chanting they don't need men, but it's only a matter of time before they come on TikTok to ask where the men are at. That's when you know reality has hit them. Dating is only hard for them because they're looking for perfection in a man. We do not live in a perfect world, so why do you expect to find perfection anywhere? It just doesn't make sense.
I just had an epiphany and I feel so stupid right now. I was sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, where have all the good men gone? I can't find them. Every dude I talk to either ain't got a job, ain't got a car, ain't got nothing going on. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, where are all the good men? Work! They have jobs! You know where they're not? At Goodwill at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday like me after writing my silly little songs all day. So if that means I gotta post up at the Mapco at 5 a.m. looking hot to bag me a hardworking man, Mapco, get ready. I'm about to get a show.
You want to meet men in the woods? Be my guest. Just remember, bears don't buy dinner. Honestly, I appreciate the heads up on where not to go.
Hello, TikTok friends. Have a question for you. I was in a very bad relationship, and I see all these wonderful men saying and asking for all the right things. But where are you? Because you sure as hell not in my town.
I never understand when people are like, you need to find a man. Like it's hard. Like they're literally everywhere. I can't even leave the house without seeing at least 10 of those motherfuckers, okay? They're not hiding. This isn't Where's Waldo. Now what you didn't say is find a good man.
How many hours do you work, Eric?
That's 60 hours a week.
60 hours a week. And how many hours do you work at home?
The same. More. All day, all night.
Really? And then you woke up and realised you were dreaming, you mean?
This right here is a good example of what the good guys will put up with. Look into that man's eyes. He is tired. This is what the good man does for his family. Working 60 hours a week, and they still get played. In this generation, if that's what you got to do to keep an ungrateful woman happy, you might as well stay single.
Pull up a guy and say you want to hook up tonight.
Oh, I got a good one.
Can we hang out whenever you get back?
Now you want to hang out?
No, I do, yeah.
No, absolutely not.
I'm gonna go with someone else.
Go.
That's the guy that has had a crush on me since 7th grade.
That's a W Brown.
That's wild, bro. He's been in the friend zone for 7 years and rejects her over the phone.
A moment of silence for the brothers who ended up stuck with the leftovers of the dating apocalypse. Fallen warriors, sacrificed on the altar of "you deserve better."
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Do you want to go on a date and get naughty together?
No, I'm good.
You don't want to? Not at all?
Nope, sorry.
Okay. Do you want to go on a date and get naughty?
Oh, I'll pass.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is awkward because you rejected me.
Go find someone else.
Okay. Thank you. Rejected.
Oh, man. Rejected. Easily. And then she calls him awkward. Yikes.
No wonder most guys would rather spend Saturdays with the boys demolishing pizza and video games than chasing approval from someone who thinks bare minimum means breathing quietly.
Imagine thinking that it was a bad thing, by the way, for a man to say that it's their job to take care of women. Remember when that was noble? Do you remember? I don't remember. When the Titanic was sinking, I don't remember all the women complaining that they were on the boats first with the children. No. Were they like, no, I'm staying here. Men, you take the boats. I've got this. No, because that would be weird. That would make no sense, right? And now we're warped, right? So this now we've been programmed as women to think that when a man says it's my job to take care of a woman, you're supposed to be offended by that. Instead of saying to yourself, well, that's a fundamentally decent man that thinks that's his job and is going to work his butt off to make that happen. Warped society. Don't play the game.
And don't get me started on the Titanic. Patriarchy? Spare me. When that ship went down, it wasn't rich men first. It was women and children, while the men lit cigars and shook hands with death. That wasn't male privilege. That was male disposability dressed in a tux. Modern women can whine about oppression all they want, but history shows who was expected to die so they could float away on a door big enough for two.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.